Welcome to School Science, and this time we are having eclipses and how the eclipses are formed, the reason behind the formation of eclipses, and the various types of solar and lunar eclipses. So, here we have a fascinating science, a fascinating topic of science, that is eclipse. And you can see how the eclipse works. In fact, you can see in the two diagrams the solar and lunar eclipses, what is between, and you see that sun is always on one side. The sun never comes in the middle. Either the moon comes in the middle or the earth comes in the middle. The sun will never be in the middle. The sun is always on one side, and you can have either the moon or the earth in the middle. So let's see what are eclipses and how they are caused. First of all, let us understand shadow, because eclipses are essentially shadows. A shadow is an unlit or dark area. An unlighted or dark area formed when light is blocked or stopped by an object in its path. So an object in the path of light, it blocks the light. The light cannot come here because this object is opaque. So when this object stops the light from coming here, we see a dark area, an unlit dark area, that is a shadow. So a shadow is an unlit or dark area when light is stopped by an object in its path. And to stop the light rays, the object must be non-transparent. You cannot have a transparent object. Then the light will pass through it. If you have a transparent object, the light will pass through it. If you want to stop light, it must be an opaque or at least a partially non-transparent object. That means an almost opaque object. The surface on which the shadow is formed is called the screen. Here you have the screen, or the dark unlit area is called the shadow. Here the light source is a point source. You can see the light is very, very small. So point source. That means very, very small in relation to the object size. Compared to the object size, the light is very small, so we call it a point source. And the opaque obstacle is blocking or stopping the path of light, and we get an unlit dark region, that's shadow. Now if the source is bigger, the source of light is bigger, here we have a bigger source of light, not a point. An area of complete darkness and an area of partial darkness, you will find two kinds of shadows. An area of complete darkness here, that is called the umbra, and an area of partial darkness or dimly lit area, very dimly lit area, not brightly lit but dimly lit, that is a penumbra, and an area of complete darkness, that is umbra. So umbra will be an area of complete darkness, and penumbra will be an area of partial darkness or dimly lit. And the penumbra always surrounds the umbra. Umbra will always be in the middle, and penumbra always surrounds the umbra. An eclipse is an occasion when the moon or the sun, fully or partly, cannot be seen from the earth. From the earth, either you cannot see the moon, or you cannot see the sun, or you cannot see a part of the moon or a part of the sun. So you cannot see the moon fully or partly, you cannot see the sun fully or partly. So either the moon or the sun is fully or partly hidden from sight when viewed from the earth. If you cannot see the moon, either the full moon or part of the moon is hidden, it's lunar eclipse. And if you cannot see the sun, either the full sun or a part of the sun, it is solar eclipse. And by the way, note the spelling of eclipse. And don't confuse eclipse with ellipse. Ellipse is an oval shape. There is an oval shape called ellipse. So do not confuse the shape ellipse and eclipse. So note down the spelling, and it is different from the shape ellipse or oval shape. Eclipse, as eclipses it should be, eclipses, S is missing. Eclipses are illustrations of shadows in nature. Eclipses, it should be eclipses, plural. Eclipses are illustrations of shadow in nature involving celestial bodies or heavenly bodies. And for the purpose of solar and lunar eclipses, the sun, the moon, the earth. These are the three celestial bodies involved. Three heavenly bodies, three bodies in space, the sun, the moon, and the earth. These three are involved in solar and lunar eclipses, which are essentially shadows formed in nature. Eclipses, S should be here. Eclipses are illustrations of shadows in nature. The main condition for an eclipse to occur is that the moon, the earth, and the sun must be aligned. The moon, the earth, and the sun, these three bodies must be aligned. Now, the word aligned can have several meanings, but in this context, aligned means they must be in one straight line. See that they are in one straight line. There can be an occasion when the earth is in the middle and the moon is on that side, but the sun, the moon, and the earth should be aligned, means in one straight line. So let us see first lunar eclipse. The earth hides or eclipses the moon. The literal meaning is hides. The earth hides or eclipses the moon. It blocks the sunlight. The earth is blocking the sunlight, so the sunlight cannot reach the moon. The moon remains unlit in the shadow of the earth. If the moon is in the umbra, it is total eclipse. And if it is the penumbra, it is partial eclipse. So you can have a total eclipse or a partial eclipse of the moon. And note that the moon is non-luminous. So the moon does not have any light. Only if the sunlight reaches it, then only you can see. And since the sunlight cannot reach the moon, you cannot see the moon. From the earth, you cannot see because the moon has no light and the sunlight is not reaching it. So it is in the dark, and so you cannot see the moon. Now let us see solar eclipse. The moon casts its shadow on the earth. Now the moon is blocking the path of light. The moon is blocking the path of light and the sunlight cannot reach the earth. The moon blocks the sunlight from reaching the earth. The Umbra region A has full solar eclipse and the Penumbra region B has partial solar eclipse. And if the sun is seen as a ring, it is called an annular solar eclipse. The sun will be seen as a ring, then we call it an annular solar eclipse. We will see how it is formed. So annular eclipse. Now when the source of light is larger and the obstacle is smaller, the source of light, sun, is larger and the obstacle, the moon, is smaller, the umbra ends at a point. See, the umbra is ending here and then continues as a flaring or divergent glow of Antumbra. Umbra, it's coming to a point here, and after that it continues as a lighted region called Antumbra, surrounded by a dimly lit penumbra. So you have penumbra, but instead of umbra, you have a lighted region, that is the Antumbra. When umbra has come to a point, it continues as a flare of glow, a glowing area that is called Antumbra and is surrounded by penumbra. This explains annular solar eclipse. It is the Antumbra region. That's why we see the sun as a annular ring. You can see the sun as an annular ring. So it is the Antumbra. Let us recapitulate again. Total solar eclipse when you are viewing it from the Umbra region. Annular solar eclipse when you are viewing it from the Antumbra region, and partial solar eclipse when you are viewing it from the Penumbra region. So, total solar eclipse in the Umbra region view, annular solar eclipse in the Antumbral region view, and partial solar eclipse in the Penumbra region view. So, that was the topic, fascinating topic on solar and lunar eclipse. The fascinating story of eclipse is just a case of shadow formation of shadows in nature. The formation of shadows involving the sun, the earth, and the moon. When they come in a straight line, they form shadows. They cast shadows, and we call them eclipses. When the sun cannot be seen, the sun is partly hidden, it is solar eclipse. And when the moon is partly hidden, it is lunar eclipse. So that's all. We'll be coming back with more such videos. Till then, thank you and goodbye.